What's up, guys? It's Matt Wilson here, and I had upon request, I'm doing a second video. Um, basically, for the encore video, I'm just gonna, basically say how shit's going. Uh, I'm training for the main event right now. It's an OCB show. It's 20 days out from the main event, so yeah, shit's getting real tight as far as diet goes and training goes. So um, right now looking to be around middleweight. So I'm at 20 days out. I'm at about 180. I went to bed last night at 180, woke up at 180. So I know my diet's on track. Running with the keto diet, the keto run, 6-day run, 7th-day refeed. So yeah, it's going pretty good. Yeah, so I mean, wake up, do fasted cardio. Depending on what I'm feeling like doing. Usually it'll be like a force march, basically incline all the way up on the treadmill. At something slow, like 2.2 miles per hour. And I'll do, like I don't know, 9 to 10 minutes, depending on how I'm feeling. 9 to 10 minute intervals. So I'll do that, and since my calves are actually my weak point, what I'll do, not only on the treadmill, priming my calves, but also I'll basically do, it's almost like a circuit, I guess you could call it, but I'll do the force march, and then I'll run over to like the Smith machine or the leg press, and just do one set till failure on calves, and then get right back on the treadmill. So I'll do that usually about 5 sets, 5 to 6 sets, and then yeah, just come back and eat. So I mean, it's all dependent on my schedule for work. I'm in the military, and I'm an air crewman, so we don't have like a night-day schedule, night-day shift. It's kind of like, hey, like the day before we get like a flight schedule, and it's like, hey, you're gonna fly nights, so you're gonna have to wake up late, and then the next day, it could be, you have to fly in the afternoon, so you have to wake up, and your schedule just gets mixed up. So like dealing with that, and trying to work, that whole first meal out and then consecutive meals after that. It's kind of a pain. It can be. Now, okay, so back on topic. Sorry, I went out. Fasted cardio, and then breakfast, right? First meal of the day. Usually a big one. I'll have like 4 whole eggs. What I've been doing lately: 4 whole eggs, 2 pieces of thick cut bacon, and then a 1/4 cup of almonds. Yeah, and that's perfect. Now that's on my run days for breakfast. Otherwise, I'll have like oatmeal and like chicken or something like that. I know it sounds weird. Like those things don't really sound like they mix, especially for breakfast. But I left behind eating for flavor or for sanity long ago. Now I just eat because it fits. So yeah, so that's meal one, and then usually like on my run days I'll have since I'm so close, I got to keep it tight. I'll have either chicken or fish, Have the occasional red meat every once in a while. But usually it's like 10 ounces of chicken or 8 ounces of fish, and then I'll have a tablespoon of coconut oil and asparagus. I switch out between asparagus, broccoli, and spinach leaves. I'll switch off between those three. It's about as much a variety as I get. I mean, I'll have, different spices, like the Italian seasoning, that whole medley of just like basil, thyme, oregano, all that stuff. I mean, that usually adds a lot of flavor, especially when it mixes with the coconut oil. So that, and then garlic and cinnamon. Cinnamon's a big thing, just so that you can spike your insulin without having too many carbs. So it helps out with that. And so yeah, I'll have that, and then after work, I'll have maybe one more meal, one or two more meals. Eat every like 2.5 to 3 hours. So like then I'll go to the gym. I go to the gym late, just because I don't know. I feel a lot better when I go to the gym later at night, just because I've had more meals. I have more energy to push through the hard workouts. So I'll go to the gym late, and I get back, and since my gym's like within walking distance, I don't even do protein shakes anymore. I just eat cottage cheese. So usually the cottage cheese is the last meal, and then I'll just take a shower, go to bed, then wake up and do it all over again. Now those are my run days. On my refeed day, still do fasted cardio because it's so close. And normally on my refeed days, I would have, like I would crush some pizza or something like that. When I was like way back, like 19 weeks out or some shit like that, because I was dropping weight way too fast. This diet is amazing for just dropping just weight, just fluff weight too, just not like lean muscle. That's what I love about this diet versus traditional dieting, is you keep almost all of your size. Like I want to say 95% of your size that you put on for bulking, you keep. None of my measurements have changed the same, except for my waist. Everything's just gotten tighter, and since everything's gotten tighter and leaner, I've lost a shit ton of body fat. I mean, that's evidence right there that my measurements are still the same as they were when I was bulking, yet I'm a lot leaner. So this diet, I mean, it's right there. To me, it has proven that it burns fat and builds muscle at the same time, and this is all through the glycogen supercompensation method, basically depletion and replenishment. 6 days of depletion, and then that 1 day of replenishment. Basically, on that 1 day, on that repeat day, I mean, you're so in the sense of glycogen, you're so malnourished, right? Your muscle cells are just dry of the glycogen, for lack of better terms, and so your insulin's a lot more sensitive. And as you guys know, insulin is the master hormone for building muscle. So with a sensitive level of insulin, a sensitive state that you're in, once you get all those carbs, it honestly, like for me at least, I mean, maybe this is just because of my super fast metabolism. I've always had one, but like I can eat virtually anything any carb, any carb. It doesn't matter if it's like a straight fucking candy bar. Like I'll eat Swedish fish and gummy worms on my refeed day, just because like it honestly doesn't matter, because you need so many carbs. Like it depends. It honestly depends on. It obviously depends on, you know, how big of a person you are, how many muscle cells you have. But if you think about it, you're replenishing essentially every single muscle cell in your body of glycogen. That's a shit ton of muscle cells. So think of it that way. Like whenever you do your refeed day, if you guys, for any of you guys who are, you know, thinking about doing a ketogenic diet or just getting on a ketogenic diet, the guys who are already on it and have been on it for a while know, you know, where I'm coming from. But yeah, so I mean, just think about it this way, guys. Like when you're doing your refeed day, don't feel guilty when your carbs, like for me, at 180 pounds, my carbs are still upwards of, you know, 500-600 grams a day, like for one day. And I know that sounds heavy. That sounds very heavy, but I need all that, right? Like that's not getting stored. Like that's where you guys, I want you guys to know and understand this diet for those who don't. That is not getting stored. Once you crunch those numbers and you realize what you actually need and you follow that, like understand that that's not getting stored as fat. Okay, that's going directly to your muscle cells, and what that's going to do is it's going to allow your muscle cells to grow, because glycogen, I mean, we just had this talk about glycogen and its effect on the insulin hormone. So again, you're burning fat and you're building muscle at the same time. Now, how you burn fat? We just talked about how you build muscle. How you burn fat on this is with such high fat content in the diet. Once you continue to ingest, and this is like once your body gets basically like used to this kind of diet, because your body adapts, right? Your body's really smart when it comes to life, when it comes to anything. So basically, your body's gonna be able to sense throughout the diet that during these days, this extended period of time, your run period, you're getting a lot of fat, right? A lot of fat. And what does fat do for the body? Okay, one, fat fuels the body, right? Everyone knows. 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. Okay, so that's more dense than, you know, a carbohydrate or a protein. And also, what some fat does is it helps break down and release the fat in your body that's stored. Okay. Now, you know, people who are ignorant to this fact, you know, they watch this video and they're like, "Oh my God, what? So fat in the body isn't bad?" That's what, you know, like there's so many studies these days that are actually showing that whoever came up with that theory was dumb. So fat in the body does not mean fat on the body. I want you guys to know that. For those of you who don't already know that. For those of you who do, I'm just preaching to the choir on a topic that was long overdue. So, yeah, okay, so back to the fat. So, when you're ingesting all this fat, what's going to happen is your brain, talking about the body now, your brain is going to tell your body, because that's what stores the fat, is your body, right? It's going to tell your body, "Hey dude, listen, okay, here's the thing. This guy's putting in fat and fat and fat, a lot of fat, right? He's putting in enough fat for us to run. Okay, so you can start releasing those fat stores. And so what happens is your fat starts to release, right? And then, you know, over time, you know, you just lose your fat stores, in theory, right? Okay, so that's how you burn fat. Also, you know, the glycogen depletion. That's also going to be some of the weight that you lose too. But I mean, that's going to get replenished. So basically, this whole diet is the burn fat portion is all about attacking the fat stores. Okay, that's the awesome thing about it. You know, it doesn't, because there's a certain point where if your body's working too hard, right, it's going to start attacking your protein. Because yes, the fat cell is more dense, but the protein cell is more calorie or more nutrient rich rather, in a sense that it has not only amino acids but fatty acids. So that's why you always hear these articles on bodybuilders and cardio, sticking to low intensity training or high intensity interval training. High intensity interval training is just because you just fucking ignite your body temperature. You just raise it to the roof and it just starts burning fat. But the reason why you want to stay out of that cardio zone and in that lower heart rate zone is because there's a point in which once your heart rate becomes elevated and once your body's working at, you know, that elevated level, your brain's going to tell your body to go into a catabolic state. Okay, now what that means is, I mean, obviously it's the reverse of anabolic. What it's going to start doing is it's going to start breaking down your living tissue, i.e. your muscles, and give it to your body for nutrients, for energy. Okay, so the reason why we keep it down in a low heart rate zone for cardio is because your body's going to be like, oh dude, we don't really need the energy immediately, so let's start using this fat. Okay, so then it starts to go after the fat, and you know, once you increase it and you go into that cardio zone instead of that fat burning zone, then your body's like, oh shit dude, we don't have time to break down this fat. This protein cell is easier to break down and it gives us more energy. Oh fuck yeah, we're gonna take that. So I mean, that's where you got to be careful. You got to find that threshold. So that's why I like the ketogenic diet. I mean, in a nutshell, I know I went a little bit on a rant with the cardio thing. I didn't mean to touch on that in this video, but yeah. So I mean, that's how things are going. 20 days from the main event. My routine I'm doing, I mean, for training, I mean, I do a chest, back, legs, and then shoulders, arms split. One rest day, and then I do the split, and then I'll do 2 rest days. I don't know, to be honest, like, if I feel like I need to do one body part over the other, but I'm scheduled for the other, I'll do the former rather than the latter. I mean, everything's going to get trained twice a week, but, you know, if I feel like one body part's lagging, I'll pick up on it. But yeah, so, and my training style is, I mean, it's a mix between volume and time under tension. I do time under tension stuff with like machines, and with free weight, I'll do more volume. But yeah. So I mean, that's my routine. Again, 20 days from the main event. Pretty pumped for it. Going for my pro card in the OCB for natural bodybuilders. And then, that's a stepping stone. I actually just got picked up as an ambassador, a product ambassador for a company, Monsieur. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but be on the lookout for stuff like that, for pictures of their products. It's a company based out of the UK, just started up. I talked to the founder a couple times via email, and seems like a good dude. He really cares about the vision that his company is going in, as well as he takes feedback from his ambassadors, people wearing the product. Uh, you know, I mean, it seems like a great opportunity. So I'm happy to do it. Absolutely. So yeah, Frankie, thanks for taking me on to the team. Appreciate it. And yeah, this is it for the second video. Let me know, guys, what you want to know about next, as far as supplementation, nutrition, training, any tips on posing, anything like that. And yeah, just let me know. Next video, I'm gonna do a breakdown of all the sweet gear that I got from Six Pack Fitness, because those guys are great. I definitely recommend, if you guys want to really crack down on your meal management, is go to the Six Pack Fitness website and get some of their products. They have backpacks, they have lunch bags, and you just got the works. They got variety, whatever you guys need. But yeah, this is Matt Wilson on Operation Giant Killer. You can hit me up on Instagram, Dr. Magnus23, Magnus, and I'm on Facebook too, just Matt Magnus Wilson. Just hit me up. It's got a picture of me in the helo. But yeah, it's been good. I hope you guys learned something, or at least refreshed on some things. If you guys have any more questions, just hit me up, and I'll try to do a video response every week. Alright? Doing real. You guys take it easy.